listening to Beyond the Chutes as presented by Parasite Systems. I'm Doug Simcox, and together we explore the untold stories of rodeo. Stories of courage, grit, and heart from the men and women who make it all happen. Because in this sport and in life, these stories matter. All right, we are here in Sulphur Springs. Of course, this is Doug, and this is...
Sam,
what a week we have had, dude.
this has been interesting in many ways.
Our Texas swing. We started talking about this, I think, over Labor Day.
Yeah,
We were down Mountain Cove, Marlon Harris's Martin Cove Rodeo reunion. I said, we got an opportunity. There's a bunch of folks out in Texas that we got to go talk to. And, man, to put the BTC bus on the road, great trip in. You doubled up what I did, but man, you put some miles in. You look pretty worn there for a while.
yeah. When I first got here, I was wore out, and I would like to say, shout out to Marlon. He called me yesterday.
Did he?
First
Okay.
time since his accident. And,
Okay.
says he's doing much better and looking forward to they're remodeling his house, and so good for Marlon. He's feeling better. He's gonna get out of the hospital there pretty shortly. He said.
Yeah. He's going to have the same kind of surgery on his neck that you had.
Yeah, that's what he called to ask me about it, and I said it's got to be different. Mine was 20 and 30 years ago, the two separate ones, but I said when I woke up from the first one, I felt better instantly.
Really?
Instantly.
Nice.
Was a relief. So
You bet.
I bet now, they go in through your neck and work on your back, on your spine, but now it's probably not a big deal. They probably do it with them little cameras and computers, and probably not very invasive.
Yeah.
How is that? Did I get it out?
No, that's
invasive,
right. No, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, I think it'll make such a difference once it's done.
Yeah.
The pain just typically ends.
Yeah, and his are probably compressed on his vertebrae from what he was saying, and he said they got something they put in there that spreads it, so I'm sure probably the cartilages or the disc is probably gone, and they'll just open it up, try to
give it some room, right?
Yeah.
Get the pressure off the spinal cord.
Yeah, off the nerves probably.
Off the nerves, yeah.
With me, the disc had slipped and they were cutting into my spinal cord.
Oh my.
So then they had to remove it and put other stuff in there.
Well, Marlon's been such a big part of our podcast. Man, he's been there from the beginning. He has set us up with so many people. Having him on the show, golly, when was that? You were coming up across from Alabama. I came down from the north 2 years ago already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bishop Arnold's house.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and Marlon knows a lot of people, and he's in touch with a lot of people and different things, and
oh my,
it's been really good.
And he's helping us on a project we're putting together on equine health. He's got all these contacts up around Lexington and Louisville and in the horse industry. That's what he did after rodeo, and we're going to put some shows together.
Yeah, I'm just so happy he's doing better, because it sounded he had a rough go of it.
He did. We're sitting here in Sulphur Springs, Texas. We're on Dalen's ranch. We just finished up a podcast with him. Kind of come full circle. Last Thursday, is it Thursday or last week? Yeah, I landed. You were already here. We came out here. He gave us a great tour of the ranch, and man, I know you've described things. I've looked at pictures. I've seen pictures, but nothing like walking it and seeing it and just seeing what a great operation he's got going here.
When Dalen first bought this place, we walked around, and like he said, he was kind of a little skeptical of what it was going to be, and I told him, if you don't get it, I will.
Yeah.
And trying to push them that way.
Yeah.
And it was an old dairy farm with two big slurry pits out there, and we filled them in, and I drove this old dump truck, and it had fumes coming in the cab, and I was half sick at the end of the day, but he got it done. He kept at it, and he works and works and works. I'm so proud of him doing that.
You bet. Man, welding and all kinds of different projects going. Got a little business always going, new things.
Yeah.
So after we landed here, of course, we had this great tour, and then we went over and saw Mike's place, Mike Fletcher's place.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity to stay over there. I mean, it's like pulling into a rodeo ground.
Yeah.
I mean, two big arenas, and there's horse trailers hooked up, and, I come rolling in. I thought they knew who I was. We had the BTC bus.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to miss, right? And I'm doing some work in there. I think it was Friday morning. I'm doing some work in there on the computer, and I see Miss Darlene, come walking up. She was headed to the back of the rig to see where the license plate was, right? So I popped out. Of course, I had met her, last spring, so we got to catch up a little bit. But I talked to Mike on the phone, but haven't been around him, so we got to get something put together. I'm going to head back over there tonight. I know he's out till late tonight, but some possibility in the morning before I take off back to Louisville, maybe an opportunity Wednesday to catch up with him.
Yeah, and probably Mike knew you were coming. He probably never related to Darlene, and
Yeah.
yeah. But I got to go to their church Sunday and see everybody again, and it was good.
Spur on
really
Ministry. You can find them on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And just good people, and just fun.
Absolutely. And it was great to catch up with him. He called me Sunday morning early. I was down south of Dallas. I mean, it's one thing to drive these roads in a car, and that would be challenging for me, right? Mm-hmm. It's another thing to drive them in a 45-foot bus, right? At night. I don't know how to make it any more difficult. Well, I guess if it had been raining and sleeting and I couldn't see, maybe that'd be the only way it could have got tougher. But, I should get some sort of award for being able to drive down here.
Well, I think you need to tell your driving instructor that you did it, for one.
Oh, my.
And the construction everywhere and the traffic, and, you plan your time out. If you're going through Dallas or around Dallas and Fort Worth, what time are you getting there?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
Like Carrie drives to work in an hour and a half from here over there, and it's not bad because she goes early in the morning and comes back late at night. But boy, if you 2 more hours difference or an hour difference, and you might add 2 to 3 hours on your time.
Oh, absolutely. And fortunately, I was traveling on Saturday and Sunday, right? So Saturday morning, or actually Friday night, I took off, and we had a nice dinner downtown Sulphur Springs. What a beautiful little downtown.
Exactly. I said, let's go downtown because they got a square there with, you eat outside and if you want, or inside, and a lot of little restaurants. I'm sure it's like a lot of towns down there. They revitalized them and tried to make it touristy, and it's really good. And I said, Doug, you got to go to the bathroom. I never ever heard him say no once before in his life.
No, never, always.
Always go, no, I'm good, he said. I said, no, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Tell him about that.
Oh,
Doug.
wow, that's like these cubes. They're probably 6 foot by 6 foot, 8 foot by 8 foot, 8 foot tall, 8 foot wide. They're cubes, and they're right in the middle of the courtyard there in front of the courthouse, which is beautiful, by the way. And you go in there, and they're kind of a smoke colored from the outside glass. Mirrorish. You go inside, and you see outside very clearly. So I've done, I have not the first time I've done that in public, right, or around trees or something, right. But that's quite a trip. That's pretty interesting, and I will say that's the first time I ever done something like that.
Yeah. It was unique the first time I did it. You're looking out, you're doing your business, looking out at people walking around right next to you.
Sitting on a bench, drinking their cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, you'll have to come in here and get rid of the coffee.
So took off, headed to Weatherford, Texas, and which is probably, I don't know, 2.5 hours, Sam, from Sulphur Springs, something like that. And got to sit down with the great bull rider we've heard so much about, so much about, Glenn Bird.
Yeah, and that's probably the first time I met him. I might have shook his hand years and years ago, but yeah, the stories and what he did in his career was pretty incredible.
Early 60s, 4-time bull riding champion, the travel stories, the injury stories, the spur and the cast story. You got to listen to this. And I'm telling you, so much. I mean, I just learned so much from this guy. And we had a blast recording with him.
Yeah, some of the stuff he did make you cringe when you hear about it. But
Yeah.
what an interesting person, and had kind of a little bit of a museum down in his thing.
He did.
With pictures and boots and spurs. It was very interesting.
He was great. I really had some great cookies. Mm-hmm. We've been taken care of this week.
Oh, thank you, Judy.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't get to meet her, but
she had baked cookies for us specifically, right? And then we moved from there. About 2 hours later, we was up in, was it Springtown?
No, we went to
Ronnie Williams,
Weatherford, and then
what was the name of that town? It's about a half.
Mineral Wells.
Mineral Wells.
I don't know why.
That's right. Yeah,
drew a blank. Mineral Wells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sat down with the 8-time bareback bronc riding champion, the great one, Ronnie Williams. Been associated with the IPRA forever, either as a competitor or on the board and helping build the IPRA.
Yeah. And it's good to see Ronnie again, and had some interesting stories and some different angles that I wouldn't have thought of before. So how he started and all that's kind of, and I did ask him, he said when he was working, he used to put bareback rigging on the boss's horses, and I said, did you ever get caught? Because I got busted once doing that myself.
Did you?
So,
Okay.
My mother was not pleased.
Yeah. And what was amazing is these guys, both him and Glenn, not a huge ranching background or farming background. I mean, Glenn came out of the city.
Yeah, and that really surprised me.
Yeah.
Really, because knowing what I've heard about Glenn and everything, when he said he was in town, I thought, wow, that's really something.
Yeah.
He wanted it very bad to do what he did to get there.
And how'd this stuff catch your attention? Why did you think you could do this kind of stuff?
And I've always said somebody from the Northeast that goes and does well, they really want it. And I guess the same thing if somebody comes from town and they really want it to do that.
Yeah. But an amazing career, both these guys, just amazing careers. And we just appreciate the hospitality and the great conversations that we had with absolutely all of them. It was just super and excellent. And then we wrapped up there. You came back Sulphur Springs, and I took off for Wiley, Texas, which is actually, as it turns out, northeast of Dallas. And I'm not sure how I did it exactly, but I actually spent the night at a truck stop southeast of Dallas. So it was like, well, it'd be easy for me just to go on from here, but could we add a degree of difficulty at about 9 o'clock at night? And I stay in truck stops, Sam, right? Pilots, Loves, Flying J's, and I pull into the first place. There's no room. I mean, there's just no room. These truck stops are filling up.
Yeah, and that's always an issue, especially when you're pushing it to get, late at night. Just like me coming down here, I thought, oh, well, I got a late start, and then I drove, and I said, I'll go down by Cincinnati and get a room. I know a big motel there to get a room, so I pulled in there, and Tuesday night they're sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out. So I said, I'm this far, let me go across the river so I get through Cincinnati in the morning. Stopped at 2 or 3 more. They were all sold out. So leave it up to me. So I just drive straight through to Sulphur Springs, and
then you get messed up when you get down around Lexington, because I told you to run 75 out of Cincinnati. But maybe I didn't say, and you got to go west then on 64, because we're only a couple miles off the highway.
Yeah, and I my GPS, I don't know if I looked at it or didn't look at it, but I don't know how much longer it was, but it was a good road. It was kind of, I really enjoyed that turnpike, whatever they call it.
Bluegrass Turnpike.
Bluegrass Turnpike. I enjoy, and I've drove it before, but it was actually a little better traffic-wise, I think, than going down and through all that stuff. But going through Bowling Green and all that's good too. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Saturday night, I was south of the city, and then it was 1:00 bull riding, Sam, up in Wiley. Chutes 2 Productions, Kelly Clark. I'm going to tell you what, it was a great, great show. I had so much fun. The place was packed. It was on a church parking lot, asphalt parking lot. They brought the dirt in. They brought the arena in. They brought all the stands in and banners and signage and great sound and a great crowd and a great performance.
Yeah, and that kind of surprised me when you said you're going to a church to do it. So many of these churches around here have arenas and stuff at them anyway. You know, I just assumed, and Lord knows I've been wrong a lot lately with assuming. But when they brought the dirt and all that, because there's so many cowboy churches that have arenas and rodeos once a year, I just assumed it was that way. But that's pretty neat how they bring the bleachers and do it in the parking lot.
You bet. And of course that's Kelly Clark's production company, right? Chutes 2 Productions. And he's clowning it. I mean, he's been clowning now 15, 16, 17 years, something like that. And Wes Ward, Wild Wes Ward, you know, Mesquite, Texas made him famous, right? Made him famous because Wild Wes Ward, the bareback bronc riding cowboy, he's the announcer. And he announced with Sam Howry. Now, there's the name you haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. When you said Sam was going to be there, I really was hoping I would make it up there to see him, but I had a little other business to take care of and got that taken care of. But, it was, I would have liked to have gone up and seen them guys.
Oh, yeah. And after the show, I went up, of course, and saw Sam. Hadn't seen him in, I don't know, 25 years probably. You know, at the IFR.
Yeah.
And I got his contact information, so at some point we will get him on the show.
That's good. Yeah. And I'm sure he would be a very interesting person to have.
Absolutely.
Been there, done that, and knows how to talk about it.
The voice of pro rodeo. We're going to get him on here. And then right after the show, Wes come across. I was able to park in a big parking lot right across from the church with the bus. He came across and we recorded. And the stuff, dude. I mean, related to J.O. Cravens, the founder, that would be his uncle, the founder of the IRA. So he had stuff, Sam, I hadn't heard before. Of course, his cousins, Jonna and Dana Cravens, his aunt, 2-time barrel racing champion. Just incredible to sit with him, and the stuff he covered and the stuff the stuff he covered was just tremendous. And his best friend was Lane Frost.
Yeah, and didn't you say he was Lane Frost's best man in the wedding?
No, Lane Frost was his best man in the wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he called me this morning, and he said, and he shared so much, and you got to listen to this podcast, this episode. He shared so much. He called this morning and said, just so you know, the connection of how things go, he said he thought it was 82 or 83. He said Lane was a couple years younger than him. And he said, I was maybe 17, maybe 18 years old. And he and Lane was interested in getting his IRA card because he was too young to get a PRCA card, okay? And he said, well, let's go to the IFR and check it out. So they went to the IFR, right? Wes then purchased his card, his IRA card, and qualifies, of course, for the finals, right? And Lane said, well, I'll wait a year or whatever. So if I ask anybody, right, hey, did you know that Lane Frost was at the IFR, right? You just got to be careful how I say it. Yeah. Yeah. What year was he at the IFR? Well, I think it was 82 or 83, and he was there as a spectator checking it out. But the Wes Ward conversation, Sam, just incredible.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it must have been so much knowledge.
Oh
So,
gosh, in history and connecting dots. So Wes was great, absolutely great, and then took off on Sunday evening and headed down to Springtown, Texas, which is back on the west side, the northwest side of town, of Fort Worth actually, and got to go visit Kelly Clark, of course, Shoot 2 Productions, and his wife Charlene.
and I've been to Springtown before, and I didn't know that Kelly lived there. I'd have probably looked him up. And then I did find out last year because they have a cowboy reunion there in July.
Yes.
And let's go to Texas when it's hot in July.
You bet.
Yeah,
You
just
bet.
what I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
But I would like to do that
Yes.
next year. And I was headed that way, and we got some business to do halfway and didn't get out of there. But I'd
Yeah.
really love to got there
Yeah.
to see it.
Well, a couple of years ago, we had talked about, if you remember, not this past 2 summers ago, we had talked about going to the IFYR in Shawnee and then dropping south, right, and going making that big loop,
Yeah.
right?
And maybe it's not out of the question now.
No, for sure. But I had an opportunity to go through the Buckhorn, which is a building out back, and it is amazing. This building that he put it up during COVID. Got all this memorabilia, saddles, and oh gosh, pictures and banners and posters and you name it. All kinds of things in this thing. And it's called the Buckhorn because there's, I don't know, 150 antlers in there. Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. It is just absolutely beautiful, and that's where they have the reunion, and just an opportunity to meet Kelly and get to know Kelly. And we sat down yesterday morning, probably about 8:30, and we finished up last night about 9:15. Okay, so much information, so much fun. And in the middle of that, we went to lunch. Kelly, Charlene, and myself went to lunch, and just great folks, and just had just so much information. Of course, his dad, Johnny, was one of the original world champions, right, in the IRA back in the day.
Yeah, and rode bulls and bareback horses, and I think won an all-around one year, didn't he? Or
Absolutely,
something?
yes.
So,
He did
yeah.
a couple times. He did a couple times.
I've got to meet him a few times, and never got to see him ride, of course. But
Yeah.
everybody talked about his ability and how good he was.
And Kelly, what a career. I mean, he traveled. He was full-time, dude. He was out there. And there was this gorgeous saddle. It was right off to my right shoulder. And it was the Pepsi Challenge saddle. And it's so it's beautifully tooled, but it's painted. It's got the PRCA. It's got the Pepsi Challenge paint on it. And just a gorgeous saddle.
And whose saddle was that?
That was Kelly's.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's probably got a half a dozen saddles in there.
Oh,
and he
great.
said he's got another 10 or 12 buckles that could have been saddles that were second places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Second place.
Don't
get me started.
I know. But posters from Hamel, Minnesota, Shootgate from Ardmore, Oklahoma, that big 100-header bull riding back in the day, right? Back in the day. Madison Square Gardens with World's Toughest. And what was fun, we did so much recording, so many different conversations. In the middle of it, he called Steve Gander up. We was able to record off the phone into his microphone a bit. But Steve Gander, we tried to get connected with him, and he's going to be on the show. He's got a book coming out here in a couple weeks that you don't want to miss. Just a great book that's coming out. So I'm going to get a copy of that, he said. Going to send it up, but we are going to take another road trip, although and it'll be a bit bigger road trip as he is headed to Arizona. They're relocating to Arizona.
Well, I've known Steve for a long time, and took some stock to when he came to Buffalo and up in that area, and it was always a pleasure to meet Steve, and so much respect for what he's done. And
You bet.
one of the first rodeos when I left home was one of his.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. And how these guys, him and Bruce Lurkey, you'd think, oh, they're competing, big rodeo over here at same weekend. But no, there was no competing. They was figuring out how to get the cowboys from one place to another and working it out so it made sense, so everybody won.
You know, and that's what people need to do more.
Yeah, yeah.
These rodeos across that are close by, instead of fighting for the contestants, if you can show them that you can make both of them, you're going to get better contestants. And they've seen that from back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
40 years ago. Let's work together so that they can all go to each of our rodeos, and we'll get better contestants because they can go to two good ones the same weekend.
Yeah, yeah. And boy, we got some inside scoop on some of the founders of the IRA, Chuck Smith, J.O. Cravens, boy, the list, and of course Liesel, right? I mean, Kelly is connected to absolutely everybody, and he doesn't forget things. He's got a history like nobody I've been around. He remembers it. It was interesting on the way here. He said, we forgot to talk, and we're going to add this in. I'm going to call him and we'll record it. He said, we forgot to talk about my dad not only being a bull rider, but being a bullfighter. And he said, you asked, how did you meet Loretta Lynn? And he said, my dad fought bulls for Loretta Lynn. This was before Bruce ever left Wisconsin, before Longhorn. It was Double L Rodeo in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, Sam.
Yeah, and I want to drink some of the water he's drinking because I can't remember our own names sometimes. So,
my gosh.
That's...
This morning he talked to his mom and said, well, didn't you tell him about this and that? And so there's more stuff we're going to be adding in, but connected. He talked about they were at, his mother remembered going to Goodlettsville. Of course, Loretta's there. Here comes Ernest Tubb, the great country western singer.
Wow.
Ernest Tubb is there. Huh. So it's amazing that era, that early 60s, mid 60s, the western singing talent, the actors that were all drawn in to the IRA.
From Loretta Lynn.
Yes.
Was a huge marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Not ploy, because she was involved completely.
You bet.
So that era really interests me. How her and her husband, and everybody talks about her husband, what he did, and how down to earth he was.
Mooney.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, we talked a lot about Mooney. We did. And what was interesting, we were coming back from lunch yesterday, and Charlene says, oh, by the way, have you heard these recordings? And I'm like, what do you mean recordings? And they told the story about 2018, kind of a Make-A-Wish kind of a thing. A guy's, I think it was in New Mexico, like Farmington, New Mexico, cancer or whatever, and he's an older guy. And his wish was he wanted to meet Liesl Harris.
Is that right?
Yeah. So Kelly and Charlene took Liesl down there. And Charlene had the smarts to record on her phone the stories.
Good for her.
So she sent me probably 30 minutes of little bitty snippets, just a little bit, total 30 minutes, little bitty snippets. So we're going to be adding that in, but it's Liesl talking and telling his stories as he lived it, as he remembered it.
Now, they took Liesl down to this guy for the Make-A-Wish type scenario.
Yes.
So listen to what we just said.
Yeah.
Good people.
Oh my goodness.
Not just taking them down, but Liesl going and doing that.
Yeah.
And we did that. We put a little rodeo on for a girl.
Yeah.
And Dalen and Colton and everybody, and what that gave you a feeling, And it was just a little show.
Yep.
At a place. That was her wish for a rodeo, and it was in the April or something like that when nothing was going on, like you can't take her. So we did a complete rodeo for this young lady, and I still have seen her. I seen her this summer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's such a blessing to do something like that for
Oh
somebody.
my, absolutely. Giving back, right?
Right.
Engaging and so forth. And that's all that rodeo is at the end of the day. What was so interesting, we recorded, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours yesterday with Kelly. And I don't know that we spent 2 minutes on a particular ride, total on a particular ride. But boy, he could talk about the people, he could talk about the venues, he could talk about the livestock. But it was all relationships and people and activity. It wasn't, oh yeah, it was 82 points there. You know what I mean? And that's been our finding, Glenn. With Ronnie, it's all these memories, not just, these guys were crazy good riders, high scoring riders, but you didn't hear a ton of that.
And that shows you what kind of people they are,
Yeah.
humble and move on, get the work done.
Yeah. So this morning, I got up, got the wheels turning on the BTC bus, and headed back to Dalen's. And we had talked to Dalen, or I'd texted with Dalen late last week and said, hey, would it be okay? Can we get you on the show? So we just wrapped up with him, and man, we talked. We got an update on his health, where he is, where he's going, what he's doing. We talked bull teams, we talked futurities, we talked beef jerkies, and we talked the movies. Did I miss anything?
Not really. The only thing you really missed is he now talks. He is very comfortable doing what he was never comfortable with before. And I am so uncomfortable, like you and I. This is okay because it's like you and I.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be uncomfortable with a podcast because you're just chatting.
Yeah.
But like to hand you a microphone in a crowd, I'm terrible. But Dalen just rolled on.
He rolled.
Just talked like he, just opened up, and it was
good.
Very good.
It was very good. It was very, very good. So we wrapped up with him. We're still sitting in the milk parlor, right,
Yeah.
of his place. So we're wrapping this one up. I'm going to be headed to Mike Fletcher's for tonight. So I got to get a good night's sleep over there in the bus, right?
Yep.
Don't have to listen to trucks idle by me all night long. Although that doesn't really bother me. But head back to Mike's, and I'm hoping in the morning I get to see him before I take off.
Yeah, and Mike's always interesting, and if we can get a hold of Mike and do it early enough, I'd probably come down there and do it. If not, I'm gonna head east and go on. And,
Yeah.
But I just enjoy talking with Mike and the stories and the things he remembers. You know, just floors me.
Yeah. Well, what a trip this has been. I'm so glad we put it together. We had perfect people to interview. There's a whole bunch more down here that we want to get with. So Texas Swing #1, and I'm with you. July, no reason not to be down here and walk in and go take a look at the Buckhorn and go see Kelly and Charlene and enjoy their hospitality. And then I think it was about 5 o'clock last night to get a call from Aubrey Wolf, our BTC cowgirl, and she had just gotten back from Oklahoma down there in Guthrie at that big roping. So she's going to give us a report out. I'm gonna record with her probably tonight, tomorrow, something like that. She'll give us a kind of a report out on where everything is, and then she's got a couple weeks where she's going to do some local jackpot. Going to get kind of rested up a bit, get Rita, her horse, rested up. And then they're going to be headed to Arizona for that big $1 million roping out there, on all the ropings that go on around it, and then ultimately on to Las Vegas.
Well, I'd like to get to meet her in Las Vegas when I go out there, so I'll have to try to get a hold of her. But she's, for a young girl, 13 to 14, just turned
14.
Yeah, that's got to be a worldly experience, and hopefully she's understanding what her parents are doing for her.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh no, that's exactly right.
Soccer moms and athletic supporters don't understand what it's like to have kids in rodeo.
Oh my goodness, and they go hard. I mean, they go hard, and just a great family, and That's future rodeo, dude.
Exactly.
You bet. What haven't we talked about, Sam?
Well, I did want to just bring up little things like Dalen bucking bulls here at his place and young kids. He's helping them. And youth builds youth. I've always said that. And now I think he's enjoying what I enjoyed through the years, helping young kids, you know.
I love it.
I always said the high school rodeos were a pain to do, but if you could help the kids and bring them on, and it's really worth it. And we have brought many young kids onto better places because of not just Dalen and Colton, but everybody involved in it.
You bet. And your young man that you've been working with, your bull rider, bronc rider, he's coming down?
Yeah, Grady's going to come down, and he's going to, like right before he goes to June, NFR asked Dalen if he could come down. So that'll be the end of November, 1st of December.
Okay.
And then from there, he's going to come back. And I don't know how long he stay. Hell, he might bring his motorcycle and stay and his horse and stay all winter. It would be great if he did. You know, because Dalen can do things with him that I can't.
Yeah, for sure.
There's things I can do with him, and he's really learned it and really stepped up. But if Grady comes here, the workout will be as much as anything.
You bet.
Seeing the big checks on the wall and give you incentive to try.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Wow. Lots of good stuff going, Sam. Yeah. And I know you've got plans in December. You're going to the NFR for a number of days. I'm headed to, here in a couple weeks, I'm headed to Billings for a couple weeks. Going to go up and be with the family up there. And we're going to keep recording. We're going to keep putting shows out. We got a lot of stuff going. So if we don't talk with each other on the podcast before that, happy Thanksgiving.
Well, you too. You too. And that's going to be an interesting week. Dalen's getting married that weekend.
That's right. That's right. Good. Any final words?
Well, I'd just like to thank you, Doug. You've done a lot for me this week.
It's been fun. It's been a great week. Good to hang out with you. Great food, great conversations, and all the folks down here on our Texas Swing. To our listeners, I hope you enjoy. Lots of good programming headed your way. That's it for this episode of Beyond the Chutes. Thanks for coming along with us. We're proud to be supported by Parasite System. Parasite is helping clinics catch problems early with fast, accurate diagnostics. Learn more at parasitesystem.com. We're also brought to you by Simcox & Company, a 4-generation barbershop in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Want to look sharp? Walk in and see Deb, Tom, Eli, or Troy. No appointment is needed. You can find them at Simcox & Company on Facebook.
Ready to hit the open road? Join the Wandering Gypsy RV Life Podcast for real stories, RV tips, and travel adventures from behind the wheel of Birdie B. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
And for music that travels well, stream Nicky McLeod's albums, Prepaid and Some Kind of Reckless. Available now wherever you find your music. And before we go, a special mention of Liesl Harris, This Ain't My Last Rodeo. Great short stories and memories told by one of the most beloved figures in rodeo history. It's laughter, legacy, and pure Liesl. Pick it up now on Amazon. And a new book is coming this fall. It's called World Toughest Rodeo, How One Cowboy Blazed a Trail for Western Sports. It's going to be released November 11th, 2025 by W. Brand Publishing. It's an in-depth dive into how Steve Gander went from meager beginnings on a small family farm to building a brand that still rides strong 45 years later. A story of vision, grit, and the spirit of rodeo. This has been a BTC production. Until next time, thank you for listening.